day 30, 1 month into carnivore. I'm gonna address everything. So let's just dive into it. At first, I had constipations. If you have constipations, you have to increase your fat. And one very, very important thing is that if you go carnivore, you just have to do number 2 like twice a week for most of the people, because you absorb every important things of the meat part, and then you just don't have to go. And that's actually the a normal way. And people, because of the fiber and vegan stuff, think that it's normal to go every day, like a lot. It's just not. So with my constipations, it helped to increase my fat intake and also have enough electrolytes. And when it was very, very bad, I did use microlax. So you put it in your butt and then it's going. Be careful with that, because you need to do it naturally. But if you're having pain like I did at some time, this one helps, and it went away, and I don't need anything anymore. My bowel movement after 30 days are perfect, so no problems with that. I did have diarrhea at some point as well. That's also if you have too much fat, so you have to increase your protein intake. If you think that you're having enough protein or you have enough fat, you have to track your macros, maybe with an app, with FitnessPal, for example, just to see what actually is in the things you're eating, because I was completely off thinking that I have enough protein. And then I just had like 40 grams of protein a day, and you should have a more amount. And with how much protein intake you should have, there's a lot of different opinions all around the globe with all the doctors. So I go for the, I should have my weight that I want to go and double it in grams. So if I wanna weigh like 50 kg, it's not 50, but it's easier to now calculate 50 kg weight, then I just double it, and I wanna have 100 grams of protein intake, or should have, just to maintain. That's, I think, the most that makes sense to me and how my body works. But some people don't need that much. Like a friend of mine just needs half of it, and that's what their doctors are telling her. So I don't know, there are very different opinions on that. With the bloating, I had a lot of everyday bloatings for years. I thought that's normal to be completely bloated after a big meal, to feel awful and so on. I don't have that if I eat just meat, fish, eggs, and salt and water. I do have bloatings when I add the dairy part. So that's one thing I can tell you. I had a lot of bloatings with every kind of dairy. So I, for me, figured out, and especially when I sometimes occasionally did have a fruit, because in the beginning, especially when you're just transforming, and I did from vegan to carnivore, like bam, I did have to ease it out, but still in a carnivore world, in the animal-based world. That was my going to it. If you can ease it easier out, and do it step by step, implementing more fish or more meat, or more of animal-based products in your diet, and then just go slowly there. I did it the full bash, but I still didn't put myself that I can't eat dairy or fruits, because that would be just too much for me. And I'm getting there easier with me not needing fruits, with me not needing dairy, step by step, during this way. So it will come naturally to you to some point that your body just needs less of a lot of things. I did have cramps in my legs, day 7 to 10 maybe. It was severe, and it was due to missing magnesium. So I did bought magnesium as a supplement. And actually, it's not because of carnivore. I always needed magnesium. I'm always very low in magnesium. So this one thing was for me changing it after 3 to 4 days, taking 2 of my pills here, and drinking more electrolytes, salt and butter. So that was the game changer for having cramps. Then I did have headaches, which were not only based on carnivore, but also on my multiple sclerosis meds. I did have severe headaches, and then I stopped drinking coffee for a few days, and then it just went overboard. My head was exploding. So I have to check who did. I'm sorry. It was, Oh no, I wrote it somewhere down, damn it. Wait, Claire, one of my followers, Claire, did suggest to take these COQ10 pills, and they helped me so much. And I just take them 1 week, and they already helped with my severe headaches. And I thought maybe it's from the magnesium as well, because I implemented both at the same time. So I stopped taking them. And now my headache's coming back a little bit. So it is because of these little helpers, but they're very expensive. They cost about 100 euros. So it's really, really expensive, but they did help. So if you're really having that much pain like I did, it was a good thing for me, you know. But I don't need them. Like, my headaches are very little, and it's because of my meds, because they create a lot of headaches, and it's not only carnivore. I do also supplement with vitamin D, because we don't have much sun right now. So I do feel the lack of sunlight for me. So, and I was a lot of home. So I did, and did work a lot. So I did take vitamin D as well. And when the cramps as a woman get very, very bad, I did take some iron, like Oleo Vital. But I just take it, you know, maybe 3-4 days, and then it's getting better. I see the effect getting better. I'm gonna do my blood work as well, and I'm gonna see the difference. Before I started carnivore, I was lacking a lot of things like selenium, zinc, magnesium, all these kind of things. I was very low. So it's gonna be interesting what my blood work shows. I also bought vitamin B5, because a lot of people who did carnivore or doing carnivore for a long time, they experience after 6, 7, 8 months into carnivore a lot of different problems. And that's the thing I want to address as well, because often say people, yeah, it's because you're carnivore, that's why you're having this, losing hair, having these seizures and stuff like this. So, but it's not because of carnivore, it's because you are lacking something, or you're eating something in specific on carnivore that your body cannot deal with. So what it was for me, it was yesterday. I showed my whole experience every day, the ups and downs. I was completely transparent, showing everything. So that's why I'm completely honest. Yesterday I had an attack, and it was severe. I was almost dying. And I'm not kidding, I almost died, because my breath started just, my throat started to swallow like crazy. I had itching all over my body. It was like somebody is putting a needle through my body. My heart stopped beating for a while. It was horrifying, and I was going crazy. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to, you know, call the doctor, because I was just scared as fuck in this moment. So that's what you should do. You should call a doctor. But I was just in a moment, I was blacking out, and I was thinking, no, it cannot be something that I cannot fix right now. Something is wrong. And I know it's not from carnivore. I have this feeling that it's something else. And I did just something in my brain click that I had something similar, but not that kind of a big reaction. And suddenly my eye, and I have still symptoms, my eye stopped working. It just, you know, started like doing this, and it was so painful. My nose is clogging since days. My throat is swollen most of the time, and then it's just stops swelling. My ears are hurting. My hands are shaking. I do have severe pain all over my body, especially in the back. So it was just going crazy for a couple of days. And at first I thought it's the flu, it's maybe corona, it's maybe influenza. I checked everything, and it was not that. And I was there, so I know the difference. And it was like a little shock. And I know my body very well, because I have multiple sclerosis. I'm constantly into pain. I was constantly in the hospital. I was in a wheelchair. So I know how my body works and how I react to different kind of things. And I knew that at the time, this was something I was familiar with, and it wasn't because of corona, but I couldn't, you know, pick my mind on it. And then I just researched like crazy, and then I found what it was, because I am histamine intolerant, and I know that because I did the blood work a few months ago. And the one thing that I didn't know, because I knew I'm very specifically allergic, like really allergic, and having problems with my throat and, you know, swollen and these kind of things, but just not that severe like yesterday. With tomatoes, and not all tomatoes, it's some tomatoes, or somehow, like if ketchup it's okay, but if you have tomatoes also it's not okay. So it's really strange. That's about histamine. It's just a stupid thing to have, and it can heal as well, and it can get worse, and you can just have it without knowing it. So be careful with that. If you have any kind of symptoms, even on carnivore and vegan, it doesn't matter, which I just explained, check if you're histamine intolerant. Try to figure out what kind of food is causing you an allergic reaction. Because I was feeling very good when I just eat in the morning patties and eggs, and I was happy and it's going very well. And then I was full of energy. I was going out. I was happy, and you can see it even in my videos. I was like, yeah, I'm getting better. And then suddenly, after eating something, and I didn't realize it at the moment, my energy levels went down. I was having problems. And then yesterday it was just overboard. And now, listen to this. It's bone brew. For me, it's bone brew. And I'm not the only one. It's for a lot of people I research. And dry meat, like this kind of beef bacon things. And they were causing... I watched also through all of my videos, and that's a good thing that I really documented what and when I did have this pain and what I did eat. And it's because of these processed meat, but it's like freshly from a butcher. They don't have a lot of things, but it's this dry meat that's causing me the problem, and it's bone brew. And now take this. My mom did also have some soup, but less than I did eat the whole bunch because I was sick, and I was thinking, okay, I'm doing my body something good. And she was preparing it for me and freshly cooked and everything. And then I told her what is happening, and I was scared as fuck. And then she said, after 1 hour, she called me and she said, oh my God, I'm having this similar symptoms, but not that much like you do. And I say, yeah, okay. And then she called my grandfather, which is always eating this kind of soups, and you know, the recipe she have from him. And he's experienced the same things with itching legs and these of stuff or things. So wow, it's just mind-blowing. So if you a lot of people are not sensitive to a lot of things, but if you are, you just have to figure out what it is. And for me, it's bone brew, and for my whole family, it seems it's bone brew, and soup and these kind of things, from meat and dry meat. So that's one thing I really want to address, and that's where also people go often wrong. They think they have constipation and diarrhea, and oh my God, carnivore is bad, but it's not. You're just doing it wrong. If they think, oh my God, I'm having seizures and this is happening and this is happening, and the doctors are saying, oh my God, you know, you're gonna die because you're doing carnivore. It's not carnivore. It's just specific types of foods. And I did have these foods also in my vegan diet, but I never had this kind of extreme reaction, and because it was the combination of bone brew and the meat part at the same time. And also one thing, your body sometimes, or some bodies, cannot adjust to too much fat right at the beginning, because, you know, it's, of course they can't, you know, you cannot adjust in a few days or a month to anything. Even if I go now vegan, I will have massive problems, you know, again, because your body don't know what to do and what is happening, and it's just fighting everything. It's illogical. So if your body with the absorption, I just checked some videos also, there are 2 kind of salts that doctors recommend. I did buy them, and I will tell you about it when I experience and try them out, if I'm getting better with my fat intakes, because I can see that too much fat, and it not too much, it's just maybe 50 grams of butter, so it's not that big of a deal. It's still hurting me and is causing me problems. So I will maybe fix that with this salt and talk about it. Also, you know, these are kind of the things that are major that most of the people do experience. I do have, because of mood swings and hormone things, they were getting better. Yes, I do have much more control over my body, but only if I quit the dairy, and only if I don't eat fruits, because fruits do tend to put my insulin level very high. So with the fruit part, if you want to have fruits, do it on a full stomach. That's the funny part, because there are also a lot of opinions. You should eat fruits before because the meat is staying in your stomach and then it will cause bloating if you put the fruit on it. But there are also opinions from different kind of doctors that say you need to be full satisfied on protein and fat, and then eat something if you still need it with fruits, and then your insulin wouldn't be that high and raised. Because if your insulin is raising, your fat production, it's going to slow down. So yeah, that was one thing. There's so many opinions, and the doctors are just not agreeing on everything and anything. So you need to make your own experience what works for you in the end, because it's so different. Some people do have reactions to egg whites, some people do have reactions to whole eggs. So you really need to figure out what it is that's going wrong in your body, and don't say, oh my god, it's carnivore, carnivore is bad. It's really just some specific foods. And with histamine intolerance, if you have that, the problem is also the way you cook it. It's also a problem if you just have the same type of meat every day, and one day it's maybe too long outside or something like this. It can create histamine, and or you just prepare it a little bit different. It can now be, causing you a reaction. So it's really not carnivore at all. Don't generalize it. It's sometimes just some specific foods in general. My back pain, I did have a disc prolapse that didn't go away, but still my month is not completely strict carnivore. And I think that is the big difference and the big deal, just eating the red meat and how it's supposed to be, with salt and water. And that's one thing that I don't want to address, that carnivore didn't now help me, because if I went full carnivore, it maybe would help better. So that's what we are experiencing right now this month. I want to focus on going like full carnivore, without the dairy parts, without the fruits. Then I also have, because of my multiple sclerosis, I just can go 5,000 steps a day, and then I'm starting to having severe pain. So this didn't went away still, but I'm going to experiment with, going just meat, salt and water, and eggs. Then we do have the cravings. The craving part is very interesting, because stevia, coffee, dairy, fruits, these all things can cause your body to crave sweets, chips, and all these things, because it's just signaling somehow your brain, oh my god, you're starving, you need these things. So let's say it like simple like this. What I discovered is that if I was craving an apple, and I was craving an apple like crazy, I checked what maybe it's causing the craving for, especially an apple, and it was omega-3. So that was really crazy. The next day I bought some salmon, some fish. I did have the omega-3, and my body was happy with it, and I didn't crave apples anymore. So I think if you're craving chocolate or nuts or something like that, just check what you are craving and what the vitamin maybe you're missing, and then just try to implement it somehow. Especially chocolate part is magnesium, or chips are often just missing salt. So just experiment a little bit with that. That really can help and make a big difference. Or eat butter, but be careful. For me, butter, it had a different kind of reaction as well, so be careful with that a little bit. Spices, I don't use any spices besides salt, because I have an autoimmune disease which is severe. So that's what I want to heal, and that's what people are saying. If you are having an autoimmune disease, don't use spices. So that's what I'm going for, but it's still fine if you want to use them. So the suppliers and the costs. I don't spend more money even going to a butcher when in overall what we spend for eating, because we do eat less, because it's better meat, and we just eat in 1 or 2 sittings right now. So we do consume less, and it's not that big of a deal going to the local farmers and buy the meat, because we are eating really less of it in the end, and it doesn't cost that much more. I checked that the cheapest ground beef we have here in my country even have a higher price at the grocery store than at my local butcher. So don't be confused about that, and find your right suppliers, because it's a game changer to find the meat that you like and enjoy, because then you will eat less. And if you don't like the meat, you will just be grossed out and you will have a meat aversion. So it's a big difference to find the meat that you like and just stick to it. Stick to the supplier where you got it from. I don't know, I think in America you have like Costco and they still have good meat. I don't know anything about it. So just find the right suppliers for you that works. And it also can be cheap, very cheap meat. And if you like it, that's great. If you don't and get a meat aversion, change it. Change your suppliers. According to sports, I didn't do any sport. I just wanted to stick to the diet part and see what is happening, and I'm not gonna do more sport or something like this the next month, going into like more full carnivore. The only thing I am doing is every morning, that's what I'm doing since 1 year, is some physical therapy, stretching, and just a little bit of these small little weights, just, you know, to strengthen my body, because I'm in a lot of pain if I don't do this in the morning. So I can recommend it to you. If you having back pains, disc prolapse or something like this, just check out on YouTube some physical therapy, just sitting. I was watching Gossip Girl and just doing my stretching, you know, or watching whatever. So I can totally recommend this, because even when I couldn't walk and I was in a wheelchair, I was able to maintain this kind of lifestyle by just implementing some small sporty activities to just keep my mind occupied, that I am doing it every day, and it's enough to do one exercise or one stretching. The social aspects are severe when you go carnivore. So if you're a sensitive person like I am, you will have a lot of troubles with people and their opinions, and, you know, just going crazy. Waiters are just shocked because you don't order fries to your steak and these kind of things. And, you know, everybody's discussing and having an opinion and going, you're gonna die, you're doing the wrong thing. Oh my God, especially I have a 10-year-old son. And these kind of things, they're very opinionated. So you have to deal with a lot of these things. But also what I experienced, because I did document every day of these 30 days, it's an amazing community. Carnivore has the best community I've ever experienced in my life. And I found so many people that I'm so thankful for, that are interacting with me and helping me through a lot of this, because I'm not doing this to just lose weight and look good. I'm doing this because I have a lot of health troubles, which are, you know, putting me into a damn wheelchair and putting me into hospital all the time, and in the depressions because of that, and anxieties and all these problems which people don't see when they don't know. So I'm thankful for that, and that was, you know, worth every trouble and every ups and downs in this whole journey, to find amazing people like you are, guys. The one thing that carnivore is also about, it's cutting out sugar and processed food. It's not only about this meat and animal-based part, but it's, you know, also reflecting and seeing what the hell is wrong with this world, what is everything inside of these things, checking the labels, seeing how much shit is in there and what these shits are causing you into your body and making you sick. So, you know, when I was eating chocolate cookies all day and eating my fries and my steak, and nobody cared. But now they're caring when I don't eat this kind of crap. I you know, just blend it out. I started after 30 days to just give a shit, honestly. So I have less hunger. I do eat more. I never eat that much calories or overall be that satisfied and full through my whole life, I think, you know, because constantly trying, you know, to get your weight under control or not to be hungry all the time, because carbs, and Dr. Anthony Schaefer explained it, when carbs, when you take carbs, it's just blocking your signal that you're not hungry anymore, and they're just, you know, giving your brain that, oh, I'm hungry. And I did have on a video upload what happened to my son when he was eating like carbs again, so just watch that. And it's true, because the protein and the fat intake, I'm eating less and less and less. And in the beginning, I was starving because my body was adjusting, and I was starving, and I was eating like 10 times a day. I was snacking all the time, and that's fine. You have to eat a lot and snack a lot and eat everything and everything, and just be open to the laissez-faire carnivore style. Don't fixate on you have to force yourself to eat meat. That's bullshit. Believe me, it's just bullshit. Your brain will just go, fuck you, I don't want to do this. Only if you are a disciplined person, especially I saw it in guys, they can actually do it, but I couldn't do it. And if you're a person like me, which is average, and craving a lot of things, and coming from a high sugar diet and high processed food diet, just take it slow and take the dairy and the fruits and maybe protein powder as well into your diets, and then just easily, your body will adjust and won't need it. Believe me, my body naturally went to the point that I don't want to eat this. Thank you. I don't need it. So don't think about this. Just eat, eat, eat. Gain weight. I did gain weight. I did lose it. I did gain weight. So let's go into the losing weight part. You have to, if you want to do it right, you should check your weight every day. Then sum up all these 7 days of your weight, and then just go how to say that in English, divide through 7, and then you have an average amount of weight that you are having. And this average amount per week, you should compare weeks per weeks, because every day you can go up and down, up and down. So overall, I did lose 1 kg, which is natural for me. I do tend to lose 1 to 3 kg in a month, just because of my hormones and all this kind of things. But the difference is that I've never eaten that much, and I was never that full, and I was never that, full of energy and everything, without dieting, counting calories and these kind of things, without thinking about what I'm doing. So that's the big difference, which makes the biggest difference. And now I went to the scale now after going to the toilet. So to be honest, there's a big difference. I have now 65.4 after the toilet, and I did upload the video of my body, how it looked on day 1 and how it looked on day 30 on the short, so you can watch it. I was completely transparent. I look ugly as hell. I don't care, because that's what real life is. And I don't want to, put my stomach out on the first day, and then in the last day I'm gonna just put it in and look how thin I am now, because that's just not the case. Just stupid. It didn't change anything. I did measure myself as well. I didn't lose anything. Only here I did lose like 3 centimeters, which is strange. I never lost weight here. But everything else stays the same. And one thing I do realize when I just eat meat, fish, eggs, water, salt, these days my body tend to get leaner. It was like I'm training, but I didn't train, I just muscles showing up. And as soon as I did eat something else like dairy or, it just was wobbling and this kind of feeling. So there is a big difference. And I think if you go full carnivore, it can be the biggest difference of all. In the end, but you need to find also the balance between fat and protein. If you eat less and if you eat too less calories, your body can react also differently. So even if you're doing this everything right and you think you're doing it completely right, believe me, if it's not working, you're doing something wrong in the end. And it's more complicated than this. People tend to give you the feeling that it's so easy and just eat meat and that's so easy going. No, it's not. It's not. We are people, we are humans. We have, our issues and cravings and mental health, and food is a comfort food and it's something of a lifestyle, and going in social parts and events and dealing with this kind of things. And some people are disciplined, but, happy for you guys, but that's not how 90% of the people work. So this is a journey and you will get there naturally. After 30 days, my whole craving and wanting something and eating and what my body needs just changed naturally without me doing anything and just overthinking then. And oh my god, I have now not to eat this yogurt, and oh my god, I said no, if I want to eat this damn yogurt, I'm gonna eat this damn yogurt. But I tried not to eat anything else in this whole 30 days. I did have as sin because my son was having birthday, I was having birthday, my mom was having birthday, so we did have 3 birthdays in these 30 days. I was carnivore, so have fun with that kind of things, because everything was full of birthday kids and I want to have a real cake and I don't want to do carnivore and these kind of things. So the only sin I did have was a bubble tea, the tapioca balls, which are, it's similar to a sweet potato, and they're making these balls out of it. That's kind of, you can imagine it. And I did have a handful of them with my matcha latte. That was it. I did have sometimes yogurt with protein, vanilla protein powder, when I was like really craving things and I was that close to eat sugar, because I was just my hormones, or I was just mentally, I didn't sleep and these kind of things. And I did have occasionally some banana, berries and apples. So that was it. And I always saw that there's a big difference, me not feeling well on these kind of things, and then my body just adjusted naturally in the end. So with my son, the part is he tends to eat more meat. I said, you don't have to go carnivore. I'm gonna do this. I have these things. I'm not gonna cook some things separately for you. That's not what I'm gonna do just because you want to. We're just gonna go shopping together. I will explain it to you what is inside, and processed food are off limits, sugar off limits. So if you wanna eat something, for example, like rice or these kind of things, tell me and we're gonna make it from scratch and you will see how you're feeling. So I said to him, you gonna eat naturally what you desire, and if you wanted tomatoes or carrots or broccoli, whatever it is that you think you need and you want to, we're gonna buy it, and then you're gonna just see if it works for you in the end. But the last couple of like when we started, my mom and my son went pretty well. The only thing my son does have is he likes rice, so white rice. That's the only thing he was actually missing. And my mom is missing bread. We tried to do the carnivore bread, but it's just, we cannot manage to and figure it out, even with all the recipes. So it's just not working, and we just can't manage to make this kind of bread I'm looking at. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I saw so many videos and so many tips. I just can't figure it out. But and she loves marmalade, so these kind of things are a little bit different, but they still kept it going on and still are doing a very good job and focusing on the meat and the protein and these kind of things. So I'm really happy with them, and I try to find a good solution, that they can have everything they want, but even if it's something that's not carnivore, to make it healthy, to make ketchup from scratch without sugar, to make the rice cook by myself with tomatoes if my son desires it, and not to buy this, processed shit. So it's an adjustment. We all have to go through this, but I'm not gonna say to my 10-year-old son, you have to eat meat right now, because he started having a meat aversion. Then he was eating one day just eggs. Then the other day he just wanted to have dairy. So, we are adjusting in our own ways, and I think you never should put some pressure on somebody. It's different, like with Kelly Hogan, which she raises her children like this. It's completely different when you have a teenage son or 10-year-old to adjust, who was eating every day chocolate bars and these things, because I'm a stupid human. And I think a lot of people can say that for themselves when they have this click moment and see what they're actually doing to themselves and their kids. It's just, don't feel bad. I was doing a horrible job. I was putting every day a chocolate bar in his food, because I thought, yeah, that's okay. It's gonna be fine, just to have his cravings under control. Smart as hell. And I do have to say, when I did that, I did the same thing to me 1 month from January to February. I did have every day some kind of like bread which tasted like pizza. I did put some tomatoes and cheese and these and put it in the air fryer, and it was just so tasty. And I always had some carrots and these kind of things with hummus, and I did always have a chocolate bar with me. And I lost the same amount of weight like now on carnivore. So this thing of food is also working, eating in moderation. But the problem was, after 3 weeks, my body started to be hungry all the time. I couldn't manage to eat just the amount I was the everyday eating and eating these things. I was just starting to have then 2 chocolate bars and 3 chocolate bars, and then it just went overboard and I started gaining a lot of weight. So that's the problem I had with this kind of moderation, because I cannot do it, because my body, because when I take something, it's just going overflow, and I say, you need more, you need more, you need more of this sugar and these great things. And that's the problem for me with carbs. If you can eat in moderation, you're a lucky person, but most of the people can't deal with moderation, and that's the problem. This word is just like, carnivores hates it, and I know why, because it's really, really tough to go through this. So what else? I have my smarty little book to really not forget anything to talk to you about. There are a lot of YouTubers I really enjoyed watching, and I was following from the start. And I can actually tell you also, with the histamine intolerance and these kind of things, Steak and Butter Gal is just the source to be. I love her. I love her own content. I love her interviews with all the important people from the carnivore world. So if you need a starting point into your journey, it's Steak and Butter Gal, with you know, seeing then which kind of persons you want to follow and you will enjoy. I love Lily Kane. She's doing this funny in the shopping, in the grocery store dancing girl. I love her a lot. And she has, you know, different approaches to the whole carnivore thing. So it's also a different perspective. And I think it's very important to have different perspectives and all. Homesteading with BJ. He's doing a really great job. I love his videos. I love his, he's very funny. So I think I will link them all in the description box if I can find it. Jenny Mitic was one of the first I was following with all the recipes, since she also has kids. So that was also cool. Kelly Hogan's site is called My Zero Carb Life. So she's also having 4 children. Was it 4 or 3? I'm not sure. Children, and they're all carnivore from the beginning, and she's 13 years in, so it's also interesting, her perspective. The first YouTuber who actually got my attention, if you watch my how I and the why, it was Tim Burmaster, and in the beginning I was not a fan, because I was saying, oh my god, he's talking shit, how is this possible, you know, you need the vegetables, you need this, and I was like, even went crazy aggressive about his content and thinking, what the hell is he talking about? And then some time it clicked, and then that's the time I tried it out, and now, you know, I'm really thankful for him, because you triggered it. So if you're ever gonna see it, so thank you for that. Aaron Edwards, 5 Minutes Body, Big Man Alaska, Big Joe, you are a big how do you say that, a supporter of also this channel, and you know, telling me what to do, and I'm so thankful for you, and you're also sharing your own experience. So I really love to watch your honest opinions and your journey, so totally can recommend. So we have a lot of doctors as well, like Anthony Jaffe, Dr. Bright, Dr. Ovadia, Dr. Sean Baker, of course, Ken Berry, Dr. Peterson and his daughter, and Dr. Noakis or something like this. These are so the main people I was following and having advice when I started. Now it's getting more and more also, you know, personal people who are, you know, having all this kind of experience and joining me. And, you know, there are so many people since I started this journey. I do have now over 300 people following this channel, and I'm so thankful, because it's not about the followers, something like this. For me, it's about people really interacting, telling their stories, because that's what's keeping me doing this and keeping me alive, actually, because I really want just to heal. And you all sharing your experiences and your stories, for me, it's so amazing to see. And I do read every comment, and when yesterday I sit there the whole night and was going through every of my videos and every comment and every answer on the comments, because YouTube is not showing me all the answers to comments. If you answer me, if I have a question, that's the problem, and I don't know how to fix it, but I'm gonna maybe we'll find the solutions. So I went through all the comments, and I appreciate everything so much, and I do read them, and I do always like it with the heart when I read them. So you see that I really, when I read it, I do acknowledge it with the heart. So it's getting very sunny in here. But I think we now talked about almost everything, and how it's going now. I'm going to start eating more carefully with histamine intolerance, because that's now different for me to go through. It's not easy because it's life threatening. It's really life threatening. I could die yesterday actually. So with my throat swallowing that much and my heart stopped beating, so that's not a fun thing to do. But it will also happen if I'm vegan, if I'm doing in moderation, whatever. It just depends on what kind of food I'm eating, and I'm eating more, of course, in one sitting, of special kinds of meats maybe. And that's the danger of carnivore and histamine intolerance, to eat in one sitting that much and then maybe have a reaction, because your reaction is going to be very bad, like I did yesterday. So that's the problem I have to address and really check out what to do about it. Because normally when you have a variation of diets, you don't need one particular food like this much, and it will cause this kind of problems. You will have, like I did, extremely stomach pain and knocking you out, but not having life-threatening symptoms. So that's one thing I have to address. The other things are also just going on and be more aware of the more carnivore without dairy and fruits parts, and also to think about my cravings for chocolate chip cookies and popcorn. If I am just focusing on that too much, it's just in my head so much. And there are two ways to maybe have a little bit and just have it, and it's just going out of my system, and then I'm done and I'm happy that I did it and I had it. That's my way that I kind of would love to go, just to have it out of my system. I can have my cookie and I'm just done with it. And naturally, like the whole 30 days, it happens naturally, because I didn't put myself into, you're not allowed this, you're not allowed this, but it naturally come to this point where my body just adjusted and just don't need it and don't have these cravings anymore. So I think I maybe will go with that, just to have it one day, to have these little cheat things that I'm craving so much, and see if it makes a difference, just to have this experiment done. And I know a lot of people will say, no, don't do it, oh my god, that's a bullshit, blah blah blah. I I don't know, and I'm not sure if I get there. If I'm gonna do this, I want to be like having a big meal, feeling full, and only then, if I still struggle and really want to try a chocolate chip cookie or something like this, then maybe I will go there one day and see if it's just blowing me off of my whole experience, and then I take more time to adjust. So you will also see what it's doing to me. But I'm not sure, so I'm just gonna figure it out in the end. And yeah, so the same thing also with your pets. My dog is now the happiest dog, and he's so fat. He's a chihuahua. He's getting so fat because he still have his dry food, because he has some issues with his stomach, and that's the only food he can eat. But still having my leftover meat parts as well. So he loves it. He's so happy. I need to figure out, but first me, then my son and my family, and then the dog in the end, because I really need to do it step by step, because it's overwhelming with all the information and the experience I have, and to know when my mom or my son do experience things like I did yesterday, to know what to do. That's the most important part. And I was lucky that I have my histamine pills, because I would ended up in the end in the hospital. So it's very important to know what to have at home if these things are happening, or if you're having cramps, to have your magnesium, or if you're having severe headaches, to have your little helpers through the day, just to have it at home if something happens in the beginning, especially because it's not that easy. Like, people tend to address it. Maybe it's easy for them, but that's not how average people work. So I don't think that just because you went through a very good pageant, it's so easy to fast and to do this and to do that, and you didn't have these symptoms and no cravings and all this. That's not how the world works. Because I'm reading all the comments also on videos from others, and see how people are struggling, and a lot of them have the same issues like I do with the histamine, for example, having major severe problems with their skin on carnivore on day 60. So they're committed to it, but you know, something is causing this, and this is why I try to figure out what is making the problems, what is the problem, how to fix it, and not just to say, oh my god, carnivore is bad or vegan is bad or whatever. Nothing is bad. If it works for you, you found your key, I'm so happy for you. And if it's vegan, I'm even more happier for you if this works for you. For me, it didn't. And so, especially if you have a meat aversion and don't like meat, it's not a reason not to do carnivore, because I was a person like that. I hated meat. I just hated the taste of meat, and I was vegan because I liked the taste. I wasn't vegan because, you know, because I wanted to be vegan. I just liked the taste more of vegan stuff. And I can tell you, going carnivore was very tough in the beginning, and it was getting tougher when I had bad meat, just bad taste. Somebody likes this kind of meat, I don't like it maybe, or the taste is different. So when I found my right supplier, I was so happy to have things that I like. Now having this histamine intolerance to some of these food are throwing me off again and, you know, making me disappointed. But that's the thing, don't be disappointed, just try to calm yourself down, get rid of it, and then say, okay, there are another ways to do it, and there are another ways to get there. So yeah, I hope that my video can help some of you to start, and I hope some of you will join my journey. I am committed to post every day, almost every day. I just didn't post maybe like 4 days when I was on holidays, and then I did a sum up, so I did post then after these 4 days what happened in the holidays. And that's it. So I really try to have my holidays off camera, you know, not to take my phone with me and have this off screen time. But I do try to every day post a video and just, you know, show you the real things, without any, you know, faking it and putting, you know, some great light to look to my skin that it looks like I'm having a six-pack. I was used to being a photographer, so I know how to look like I'm having a six-pack right now, and I know how to look with the red lights and the good lights to look like I'm having a beer belly. So don't, you know, let fake yourself with a lot of these people also showing a before and after, because they're doing a lot of faking sometimes because they don't want to admit that they are failing in some point of their journey, and don't want to deal with people then telling them that they're failures. So that's not what you're gonna find on this channel. I really am 100% honest. Too honest sometimes, yes. So if you cannot deal with honesty, you have to go away and find somebody else. But I'm just gonna be completely honest. And this channel is not a mean channel, so I don't accept mean comments. This is the only things I am going to delete and block. So people just being mean and, you know, being offensive, to say that, to others or something like that, that's not what I'm gonna accept on this channel. I do accept criticism in all kind of way which are constructive, so these are fine. And I never delete comments and not block a person at the same time if they're mean. So if your comments are being deleted, it's because of YouTube. YouTube's algorithm has something, I don't know what it is. A lot of people said, oh no, my comment was deleted by YouTube. I don't know why it's happening. It seems like some, you know, links and also names of people. I really don't know what is causing it. But so if your comments have been deleted and you haven't been mean or something like this, it's probably because YouTube deleted it. So you have to know this. And I'm very happy to have you. And for everybody who's starting, just you can follow from day 1 to day 30 on my channel, like every day, the ups and downs, which you maybe also will go through. And I hope I summed it up, how and what are the solutions and what did help me in the end. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm so thankful for everybody, and lots of kisses to you all and have an amazing day.